Hello, everybody. This is the Rude Boys Podcast. It's currently, July 2021. I'm dating this episode.
2001, even.
2001? We've gone up 20,000 years.
Oh, no, 2001 would be, before. Back 20.
Back
I see, to the past.
We've hopped in the cat piss time machine once again for this episode of the Rude Boys Podcast.
We start in media res. It is July 2001.
This is the middle of the movie.
And we've decided not to inform the people of the past about any specific incident that might happen anytime soon.
No, certainly nothing specific involving planes or New York.
Where am I? What is... Oh, God!
Are we the good guys?
Are we the good guys? Are we doing the right thing? Going back in time to talk about music or something?
I'm glad that of all the people in the universe to have a time machine, it was given to two idiots with the ska show.
I built it. I built the damn thing. So if they want to come take it from me, they can. But too bad. I'm back in 2001. What are they going to do about it? They don't even know. Austin, how have you been?
I've been well. It's good to jump back into another bullshitting session. We have some things in our lives which I think we could probably touch on.
I forgot to mention I'm the host, Kyle Long, and you're my other host, Austin Robertson.
That is me.
Just in case people forgot.
The main thing I'll get out of the way immediately, just in case it is apparent in the audio at any point, is that I have a dog now.
Yeah, you have a very cute little corgi, right?
He's about 1 year old now. His name is Banjo. I believe he's currently chewing on something plastic on the hallway.
I'll put a picture up on screen since I have many pictures of Banjo now you've given me.
We do have a lot of pictures.
Many pictures, you and Vic.
Everyone at Jim. He's very handsome, but he's also extremely stupid.
You like really stupid animals, huh? That you can just make fun of in your own house?
I just seem to collect them. I only have one half-intelligent animal, and she's my favorite.
Half-intelligent?
Yeah, my cat Beppy. She's an old trash goblin, but she's very happy to be in a warm house with soft things to sit on.
Out of the other cat and the stupid dog.
Stupid dog!
Beppy's the smartest.
She is definitely the smartest.
Not a high bar, huh?
Nah, not a huge bar.
I have been doing well. I got a new job. Actually, literally today. Today, July 24th, 2021, I started my new job. It's going great. It's going great so far. I did my paperwork last week. It's a great time. I make good money. They take care of my health insurance and all that good shit. I got a 401k. I've never had one of those until now. So that's dope.
It's very good. I have also received a new job.
Did you?
Which I just started. So I'm hoping, I've only been there for 3 days, so I'm hoping
today? 2021?
Yeah, in the year of our Lord 2021. I'm hoping that it continues to be a good thing. I'd like to stick around there for a good while.
I'm hoping so too. You sound very excited. I'm not going to specify exactly what it was, but I know that it has similar to do with a previous job you had.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm just evolving my skill sets.
You make stuff. You're a known maker of things. I respect that a lot. I'm not good with my hands, but I'm good with the computer. I can edit things. Here is an edit right now. There you go. I just did it.
That wasn't so good.
You didn't like that one?
No, try again.
All right, how about another one?
All right, that one was a little better. I like that one.
All right, cool. Market improvement. All right.
You're playing to my tastes with that last one, so.
Just give me some time, and I'll find something that you might like. How about this one?
That's the best part about this joke, is that I just have to be agreeable to whatever it is, and you can just retroactively decide what it is that I'm into. I
can make it seem like you liked every single one. In fact, I can reuse that last accepting of all three.
It'd be extremely confusing on a listen for anyone coming here for the first time.
That's funny.
Can you imagine this being anyone's first episode of their show?
The first episode of the podcast? Yeah, I certainly can. What if the band we talk about listens to this episode?
I mean, since at least half the world's population are probably in the band, I think that would be a pretty high likelihood, actually.
It's a large band. It's another one. You recommended another orchestra after the last one, which was 4 years ago. 3 years ago. Sorry, I'm getting a little jumbled up in the time machine. I keep going in and out too many times. It's really the fumes from the cat piss are fucking with me.
Yeah, this is the other ska orchestra that I listen to semi-frequently. Unfortunately, these guys are not... I don't think they're getting as much airplay as they deserve.
Maybe not globally, but certainly in Australia. I think in Australia they're doing pretty well. They won 2 awards. But I want to get to that later. There's more bullshit we got to get through. I wrote down I have to talk about this on the podcast because I didn't get a chance to talk about it to anyone else last year. Danny Elfman put out a solo album this year called Big Mess. It came out on June 11th, which was just before we recorded the last episode, and it was my album of the year.
Yeah.
I really, really like it. It's dark, it's progressive, it's weird, it's funny at times. He does funny scream, he does do it, and it's super well composed. I like all the singles. I liked Everybody Loves You, Kick Me, Cool Compensation, Sorry, True. It's long. It's a long album. It's basically 2 discs.
I feel like Danny Elfman is one of those people who does not look anything like what you'd expect them to look like if you're just kind of like surface level knowledge of them. Especially given the fact that he's currently 69 years old.
Oh yeah, but he's jacked and he's got tats. And he's a ginger.
I feel like most people, the majority, the popcorn-eating masses, only know him as being the guy who wrote the music for fucking Nightmare Before Christmas. So they just expect him to be like any OST movie writer.
Whatever your next movie is, Danny Elfman would love to score it.
Yeah, he's an incredible composer, but you gotta know before that he was in Oingo Boingo. And he's my favorite frontman from any band ever. Yeah. Danny Elfman is amazing. I love him so much.
We know about the Oingus Boingus, but do most people know that he's in the Oingus Boingus?
I'm sure most people don't. Yeah, most people just think of him as a film composer. What else happened? E3 2021 happened. I only pretty much paid attention to Nintendo showing.
Yeah.
They announced a new Metroid game, Metroid Dread. Kind of excited for that.
That was, yeah.
I don't know. The last Metroid game I played was Prime, so it's been a long time. Oh, Prime 3. It's been a long time since I played a good Metroid game, so I'm curious to see if that turns out good.
You know, I have never really given Metroid as a series like much attention at all, really.
Yeah, no, you're a Zelda guy. I can see it doesn't really. The parallels aren't really there.
No, I'll have to give it a shot sometime in the future. You know what I've been doing recently? I need to use the NSO virtual console some more because I've been enjoying the Japanese Picross that they put on the SNES one on there.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this to me yesterday.
I've just been plugging through it.
The Japanese Picross. You've discovered a new love of Picross all of a sudden.
So it's like I could go in there and give some of the old Metroids a shot.
I'll be straight up honest. They put Earthbound on NSO. I still haven't played it. It's been on there for months. I still haven't played it. I'm something wrong with me. I played Mother 3, but not the original Earthbound.
I wonder if that would be fun to do on some streams.
Yeah, I would say so. It's a good stream game.
I guess that's another thing that would be kind of a thing that's happened. I feel like since our last show,
yeah, last month,
me and you and our local friends, our local Discord friends have enjoyed a lot more time together streaming gameplay together, which I think has been quite entertaining.
That has been something we've been doing a lot more often. You actually published some videos on your YouTube channel. You want to plug that? We
did. We got the, the overlap between this and that. Like, if you like the bullshitting session from this, but want it to be even more insane, then maybe those would be appealing to you.
You guys like Chris Chan trivia? I did that to him.
Yeah, I got extremely drunk on an entire bottle of Tennessee Apple.
Oh, I have to clip this now.
Played the entire ending segment of Resident Evil from before the factory to the very end of the game while just entirely drunk. And he gave me a Twitter audit.
He tweeted, "Cold pizza is the best. I wonder if there is a way to make it cold."
Did I tweet that?
Yes, in 2013.
I'm hilarious.
Cold pizza is the best. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to make cold pizza from scratch. You have to make it hot.
They come frozen, don't they? You want to eat a frozen pizza?
We did some Chris Chan trivia.
That is
That's
correct.
a correct answer. How
That
did you
is
know
correct.
that?
Because I'm super fucking smart, dude. That's why.
While I was
This is a real stream you can watch.
stuck at a portion of the game that should have taken me 3 minutes, but I was there for an hour and a half while you berated me with trivia.
Which serial killer does Chris think was innocent and has similar powers to his own?
Randy Bundy.
Who?
Randy Bundy. He made Randy Bundy true. He made that.
You're close. That's not the guy's name.
Is it not Randy Bundy?
Can you no? Judges, can we give him the point on this? Can you say the name? Can you say that name to Vic and ask her if that's a serial killer?
Who are the judges?
I don't know. It might frustrate people, honestly, because it was hard to watch.
It was very difficult.
I was distracting you because with the Chris Chan stuff, so maybe it's not really fair. You had to use your brain and be hella drunk. You were plastered, dude.
Going back to it, it's very funny because like an hour and a half in, I'm just like, what am I doing? And you had to remind me what was going on.
The tree, Austin. The tree.
It was an extremely good time.
Great arc. Still no new Donkey Kong game. Still no. Where is it?
Where is he?
I know they were making it. Where is it? I've been waiting for this. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. It's my favorite video game of all time. Still no new Donkey Kong. Where is it? Nintendo, why are you so afraid to make a Donkey Kong game? The new Kirby game went great. Everybody loves Forgotten Land. At least everybody's excited for it to come out in 2022. Actually, shit. Wait, I don't think they even announced it in 2021.
They did not talk about Forgotten Land in 2021 at all.
No, they did. No, it was announced a couple months before it came out, and then it came out in March.
It was a very quick release.
And it was, but hey, honestly, I'm fine with that. Nintendo's been knocking that out of the park lately, except with sports games. No, sports games have not been going well. But you know, whatever. Eventually, I'm gonna do Donkey Kong game eventually, but until then. That's all the BS. I think we're good. Let's move into the actual... I don't want, like, a 30-minute long BS session. Oh, you know what happened since last episode?
Oh.
Chris Pratt Mario.
Who will be played by Chris Pratt.
Yeah. That whole thing was hilarious, because the more it continued...
I've never laughed this hard.
It really does seem like a shitpost that you'd find just on, like, a random Twitter feed. It just keeps going.
He's so cool.
He's so cool.
Just...
He's so cool.
You got Jack Black, Bowser.
Hey, how's it going?
Jack Black is Bowser. I can't breathe.
Seth Rogen is Donkey. It really is like
you fucking dick. Always naysay.
the greatest shitpost, and it's just the reality. We still haven't seen a trailer.
No, yeah, it's coming out. It's supposed to come out December of this year, right?
I think it's supposed to.
Trailer.
There's no trailer. I'm terrified. I'm horrified to see it. I'm optimistic, but we will see.
I'm optimistic too. It's also by Illumination, the people who made Sing and Minions. So that's enough video game talk, man. Can we talk about the band? Can we talk about the Melbourne Ska Orchestra? I did not even count how many people are in this band, but it's many. It's many. I could not name them all. I will name some of them over the course of this episode. I'm sorry, guys, but look, you have a huge display body of work that people can point to and say, hey, this band did a lot of work. I mean, they've been going for almost 20 years now, I want to say. Yeah, I think they started in 2003, and they didn't make an album until 2013. That was their first one.
By no means do not misinterpret or doing the funny joke that ska bands are large, especially ones like these, as a negative thing, because I think a lot of their strength is in the fact that they are such a huge ensemble.
This is so much work, keeping all these people in rhythm. I cannot imagine. Nicky Bamba is the conductor and the guy in all the interviews, and he also one of the lead vocalists, and I can't... Leading all these people does not come easy, but man, he takes it in stride. He's a very happy guy.
I think we're going to hear about a few of the band members, specifically in Sans Humanite, the second song.
Yes, yeah, we'll talk about that. But I wanted to talk about their origins. The Melbourne Ska Orchestra wanted to pay tribute to bands they loved in the two-tone and Jamaican ska movements back in the 60s. We talked about those. And the 70s. I'm assuming Aussies noticed what was going on in the UK at the time, sort of in the 80s, and they wanted a piece of action too. They mentioned this in the documentary we love called Pick It Up. It's in there. Ska in general was attracting some really tough people, like skinheads, who would come to shows and just be really violent, and that would make people want to leave the crowd. And I remember that. I remember them talking about just overly, like, weird racist guys just being angry and rushing people out. And this is frowned upon. People don't like that at ska shows. It's bad behavior. It hurts the scene.
Yeah, it's antithetical to a lot of what we are about.
We're very against people who hate different kinds of people, and you should get out because you don't belong here.
Yeah, I'll kill you.
I'll kill you. Yeah,
I'll do it.
This hurt the scene so much that ska bands would just stop getting booking in places because they didn't want those kinds of audiences to show up. So, late 90s, a couple bands were coming out of Australia, place we're talking about, one of which was Loin Groin. Fun band name to say.
Very good name.
And one of those guys had the idea to collect a bunch of talented local Melbourne players into an orchestra and call themselves the Australian Ska Orchestra, which would later become the Melbourne. They introduced sounds they had collected from the Skylights and the Toots and the Maytals, dozens of other bands. They would cover a lot of songs from those people on live shows that I've seen, and they responded with a hearty, it's bloody brilliant. They liked it.
That was your Australian?
It's bloody brilliant.
Very good.
Yeah.
If Australia was real, I'm certain people from there would be very
offended. Here, let me give you another one. Yeah, nar. G'day, mate, how's it going? How you going? You gotta say how you... Can you say how you going?
Well, how you going? I'm even worse at it. I'm even worse at it.
What is that? Was that Irish? You're doing worse at it.
all you have to be like, hey, you want to go to Cashies? You want to go get some Maccas? Let's get some Hungry Jacks. Like that's all you just gotta, that's the local.
This is embarrassing. There's a couple of people I want to mention from the jump. Nicky Bomba's the band leader. Pat Powell is the reggae and jazz singer. You'll hear him a couple times. Steve Montgomery, who also sings in a band called the Ska Vendors, who are also, a lot of those members in that band are in this band. Sally Ford is a saxophonist, and she does the Spanish vocals on one of these tracks. And another track I linked the other day in our Discord, the We're All Fruit Salad. Yeah, in parentheses, the Wiggles. They did a song like that. And she's important. She's on guest vocals on their debut album, too. But I don't think she was credited. I can't tell. But she's in the band. She's a great part of the band. And who else? I think they're later on in my notes. That's fine. So, after forming the band, they had two big hits. They had the Get Smart cover, which we talked about. I know you know that one. And Ligon Street Meltdown. And those are the first two tracks off their debut.
I believe Ligo was the first one I had heard from them.
Yeah, that's the first one you introduced me to them, and we played on the previous episode of the podcast when we talked about the band. I went back and listened to the first album. Have you listened to the first one, Austin?
I am familiar with it for sure, because I almost picked it.
Yeah, some people remarked that they thought the debut was better than this one.
I can understand that for certain. Definitely standouts like Paradiso is always like a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I like Third Time Lucky also.
Third Time Lucky isn't huge for me, but I can definitely see why you'd like it.
I think it's more experimental, and it's full of that fat that Austin likes. I would prefer it if they trimmed it down. I think it's a little overly long. But it's a good album to just kind of put on. I don't think it's not as danceable. I don't really like the themes of it as much. But yeah, it's not bad. It's certainly a really good... It's a strong debut. Oh, I really loved Learn to Love Again. That's my favorite track off the debut.
That's a pretty good one, too.
That's a really good one. And they didn't really use her... They didn't give her a full solo song. The female vocalist, I think it's Sally, I'm pretty sure, doing that song. Like, there's no one of those on this album, though, unfortunately. I think there could have been.
The other thing about this band is I think they're a big fan of putting together, like, collage albums, where they've got a specific theme, and it's just a collection of songs based around that theme. Mm-hmm. Including TV and movie themes, which I have to discuss because it includes the Family Guy theme, which has... A legendary YouTube video for me and you.
I knew you were gonna bring this up.
It is shockingly funny, just because. I mean, obviously they're doing a great cover of the theme song, which everyone knows. But as they're showing a live video of them playing it, they also just have PNGs of the characters just drifting across.
I was gonna say JPEGs.
Like it was edited by like a community church or something, and it's hilarious.
It's only for a little bit, but it's good footage. I like it. I like the edit. It's so much funnier if they just like didn't have them there at all. It's so much funnier that they tried.
It's another one of those kind of like shitpost things that are just released by the actual people.
It's not a shitpost. It's unironically. Oh, they're at the show. Chris and Meg, there they are. They're enjoying the show.
It's extremely good. I love this band. They do get experimental, and when they do, they sound at their best, in my opinion. But also, you can tell the age of some of the people who work there, and they would do something like just have panning PNGs of Family Guy characters on their theme song cover.
They're very silly. I wanted to bring up their live antics also.
You get a feeling that they love to play together, so I do love that about them.
When you have a big band like this, it's harder to get them all to kind of like play along with live antics like you can get with like a 6-person band, like Real Big Fish or whatever. You get stuff like that all the time in smaller ska bands. But in bigger ska bands, that's a lot more coordination, and honestly, they pull it off. The Melbourne Ska Orchestra, I watched the Sierra Nevada World Music Festival. That's a whole live performance you can watch on YouTube for free right now. You want to go look it up? Really funny live shenanigans where they stop a song midway, all get up to the front of the stage, look at the crowd, and he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they go right back to it. There's the bit at the end where he fucking... they all just fall on the floor and just kind of convulse around.
It really...
Don't expect to see a band do.
It really does remind me of being in, like, band in high school as well. Because, like, I know, like, in marching band, like, that kind of shit would happen all the time.
Yeah, people are really fun,
It's
dude.
great.
I want to say, overall, about the band from the jump, I think the Melbourne Ska Orchestra are really good at putting their best foot forward from the jump. And sometimes they can drag a bit in the middle of the show. I don't think that speaks to their talent. but they are really, really good performers and musicians. Composition-wise, I think these songs are very, very solid. I don't think there's too much for me to, like, critique all that much. I feel like, they've been doing it so long, I'm not gonna be like, oh, these guys can improve here, here, here. Because, A, I'm not a professional critic, and B, I don't think they're really all that flawed. I mean, they're pretty solid all around.
I think, yeah, I agree. We'll get into it as we go song to song for the most part.
This is where the preferences will come out.
This is a great example of, preferences will win out because there is very little to critique on a technical level because...
They're practiced. They're very practiced is the word I want to use.
Their skill floor is, well above adequate. And there is no just anything like glaring to poke at and prod with we might find with other bands, for instance.
Some other bands' albums in previous episodes, you'll know I point out like maybe there's a dull moment or maybe there's some missed potential, and I don't feel that way with this album. I think everything is exactly where it should be from a composition standpoint, and that speaks to this band being like a really well-oiled machine, kind of like TSPO.
When I mentioned earlier that I feel like they are at their best when they're being experimental is because like their skill floor is so tight. You get the interest when they are doing something completely funky or different. That's the best thing is when they are being a bit experimental on top of it.
They put their all into it. They don't half-ass it.
Also, the album we're reviewing here is called Sierra Kilo Alpha, which the astute among you might have noticed means something. That's pilot speak for ask, but they put it in the wrong order.
For ask, of course, yeah. Just like, may I ask you why you like ska so much?
I like it because horn.
Horn good, horn loud.
Yeah, horn is good.
I mean, that's what Sally Ford said. I watched her interview talking about how, what was her band called? Dr. Hernandez? She has a Latin band she's in, and she was like, I play with Melbourne Ska Orchestra, and they're all great, but there's like 12 horns. So, she loves them, don't get me wrong. She's really good at it. But she's like, I need to step away from that sometimes.
Yeah. Unironically, both of us, I would say the best thing about ska music in general is just the fact that it hits on ones and threes. It's that upbeat momentum that we like. It's what makes it danceable and quick.
I really love it. Damn, I love it. Let me tell you. They've had other releases since Sierra Kilo Alpha, though. They put out this 52-song collection called A Year of Ska, and that's what they did where every single week for a year, they would put out a new song. Some of them originals, some of them covers of TV shows, some of them just instrumentals, and man, it's really impressive body of work, and that won them an award. That and Sierra Kilo Alpha actually both got an ARIA award, an Australian Recording Industry award, for Best World Music Album. They won. They didn't get nominated, they won. So 2 of their albums are award winners.
It's pretty good.
Very good, yeah. The Australian music industry respects what these guys are doing. These guys and girls. Oh, I put in another clip before we talk about the album. Sierra Kilo Alpha. It has a very interesting cover, don't you think, Austin?
Yeah, I like it.
You don't have a physical copy of this album, do you?
I do not, sadly.
Do you know what they included inside?
No, what do they include inside?
They included a pair of 3D glasses.
Ah, okay.
Because the cover is in 3D. And I saw an interview where Nicky points this out, and he has Steve put the glasses on and then tell everybody in the band to go, ooh.
Ooh, look at that.
And they all do that. I'll include a clip of that. That's pretty good.
That's pretty funny.
That's totally unnecessary. Why would a band put 3D glasses in their music album?
I love gimmicks on physical media, though. That's so good.
It's very funny. Yeah, I don't know if you find one online, if you find a physical copy of this, maybe it still has the 3D glasses in there. I don't know.
I think the artwork from their self-titled album from 2013, the first one,
The MSO, yep.
Sierra Kilo Alpha and Saturn Return, I think they're a good trilogy of album art.
Oh yeah, and Saturn Return. I forgot to mention that. Thank you.
Because Saturn Return is a lot more similar to Sierra Kilo Alpha in the theming and artwork, and they all look nice. I don't know what it is about their album.
They look nice up on my shelf. I should get a collection of them.
I would like to get them in frames, I've got some of the other albums I have.
Yeah, I mean, you got me framing stuff now. I didn't used to frame stuff, but now I have my Skullgirls vinyl framed. I have Pick a Destiny framed. I have these very nice posters now. I never used to hang stuff on my walls until I met Austin. Now he's got me into it.
Yeah, you gotta keep your stuff protected. You gotta display the things that make you, you know?
Yeah, just having them on the wall. I can't just talk to people about them. I gotta have them around me at all times. So, yeah, that's what I'm about. Anyway, let's talk about the album. You wanna talk about Sierra Kilo Alpha, their 2016 album?
It's a good album. I like it.
You got a segue for the first track?
That's the show, folks.
Well, we just got it right there.
So the very first song, this was the album I picked for this episode here. I hope you've got yours picked for the end of the show. But the very first track on this album is called Escher.
Right off the bat, we have some really cool keys to start off the album. And the brass ensemble comes in strutting their stuff. I love how these lines resolve. That's a recurring theme of the band. All of the horn lines and the brass really resolve in a cool way. I like them so much. A lot of other bands don't get this right, but this band definitely... If you're looking to write good horn lines, take notes here. They know how to emphasize the important parts of a musical sting. That leaves the audience wanting more, but, gives them a kick in the ass every once in a while. That's fun. That's inspired. I love that shit.
They really do start off setting an incredible vibe, just to begin with. The name Escher is obviously referring to
the painter.
The style of artwork which the painter had made, these weird non-Euclidean spaces. And this song has a very interesting way of selling the theme about being turned sort of on your head, and the way that their lyrics progress, kind of cycling in on themselves with the backing. And you can definitely feel the size of the band right away. Part of the reason why the band's size can work for this band, this is the first time I think I've noted the drummer specifically in a ska band as being like really pulling their weight. But the drum work in this song and throughout the entire album is immaculate.
I love that big drum hit on He Was In With The Psych, it's a win, win, win. That got me.
The drummer is basically the herder keeping everyone in check. It really emphasizes every one of these tracks throughout the entire thing. So if the drummer wasn't as good as it was, I don't think the band would be half as good as they are.
I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. I love to point out the drummer on, I think, every album. I feel like I've mentioned the drummer at some point. They're an important part of the band. I would like to become a drummer at some point.
Also, this song is another example. Melbourne Ska Orchestra have a really good idea. It's almost like they're being directed per song. Like, they really understand as a full group like what each sort of theme and feeling for each song is going to be, and then they execute on it very well. So Escher is a song which delivers on just sounding very cool, and it makes the band very cool.
Cool, no doubt.
From the start, yeah.
Everything from how the horns are playing to the way the drum is going, and especially the vocal performance. It just sells, a cool vibe, the whole thing.
There's also, you mentioned Escher obviously being the inspiration for the song, but there's also a lyric in here that, funnily enough, references them. Pat goes, "Any way you paint the picture, you gotta keep it real." He's a painter. Escher was he said paint. Maybe paints.
And then we clap.
I clap for steel drum.
We do
There's
love.
A steel
There's
drum
a
in
lot
here.
of steel drum.
I wrote down his name. What's his name?
What's his name? I got nothing on a name.
There he is. Lennox Jordan. On the next song too, Lennox. He's the man behind the steel drum.
The steel drum is one of the things we'll see in a lot of the music. We also hear a lot of reversed audio used in the back of a lot of songs.
Is this the first album we've talked about with a steel drum?
You know what? It might be. I think it is.
I don't remember if it's come up. I don't think TSPO had one.
They really do like the steel drum in this band, which I think is perfectly good.
It's great. No, they got a great guy to do it. So very appreciative of it. I love a steel drum.
A steel drum.
Use it on this album and the first album, so it's great.
The lyricism in this and a lot of the music, when they want it to be, can be very descriptive and very cool as well.
I was surprised by how evocative some of these lines are.
Yeah, a lot of the lines can be very evocative, depending on what the theming is and how the music around it is being formed. But the lyricism can be quite good, and it is definitely here, like you said, with painting the picture.
Oh, can we also mention the scatting, that pan to left to right in the middle of the song? That's Steve Montgomery doing that. He does all the scatting and the.
He's running around.
He's running around in your head. It's quite good. Not really a lyric, but I like the vocalizations.
I believe that they do not do any level changing in the booth. Like, I can only imagine he runs in a circle on stage the entire time.
Alright, Steve, we're gonna need you to go from the left side of the stage to the right side while doing really, really fast. All right, go. And he has a stopwatch. We're running drills for your scanning. And Steve's just...
This really is a very powerful sort of out-of-the-gate moment for them.
And it's a strong opener, Austin, so do you know what I'm going to say?
Are you not going to start with your number one immediately, are you?
It's my number one on the album, Austin.
Really?
Escher is my favorite song on the album. Every time I open this album up, which I have many times in the past week, I get excited to hear Escher first. I'm not ashamed to say that this song gives me the most joy.
I will say that it is definitely not a bad opinion. And when I re-listened to it the last time, I did bump it up in my ranking.
Mm-hmm, yeah, so you can see how much... this is one of those songs that I'm just like, I gotta hear it again. I want to hear it again.
It does behoove a re-listen because of how complex the actual... the band is very layered, obviously.
And yeah, it's just a big, strong opening introduction to the band. Even if you haven't heard them before, I would definitely recommend just listening to Escher right now.
If you like Escher, you'll definitely like the band. There's a lot of songs like Escher that the band does. For me, it's my number 2 on the album.
Wow, there you go. Very close. Very close. I don't think I ever jockeyed it around. I think it stayed my number 1 every time I listened to the album. I just liked it so much. And I don't want to make it seem like the album degrades after this point, because it doesn't. It just doesn't reach this high. It's like thinking of like a high jump competition. Every guy is jumping really high. But one guy is still going to be, the number 1.
For me, my top 3 on this album could easily pull ahead of each other depending on what my mood is in the specific day, what kind of feeling I want.
I can see that. I can see you wanting some other songs on this.
It's maybe the tightest top 3 that I've seen in any album.
So far, really? This tightest?
Yeah, for sure. Because in other other albums that I adore, the Slackers album that we covered, I definitely love the whole album, but the top 2 songs, or the top 1 song in an album like that will be heads and shoulders above for the other ones for me.
I think you're right, yeah. That's a good comparison.
The top 3 in this one are very tight. I am interested to hear more about the band, the members specifically, so I think it's best that we just kind of hear it from themselves. So I don't know if you want to, kind of pull us into the next one.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, the very next track, much like the gravity of a planet, pulls us in to Sans Humanite.
Undertale joke.
He said Sans! I'm gonna kill my microphone.
It's an interesting title, for sure.
When you first saw this title, did you think the song was just gonna be about them complimenting each other?
Is it complimenting?
Yeah, it is!
Some of it is complimenting, and then some of it is gentle razzing, in a way.
We'll send you back to Trinidad!
Whichever way you want to paint the way they talk about each other, it's definitely playful. It's a lot of fun.
These are what friends do. Friends do this. So we mentioned Lennox Jordan is the first verse is about him playing the steel drum. They talk about Barry Deenick is the bass player, also a founding member, if I recall correctly. We get Pat Cowell. I want to point out his lovely deep singing because he's great. He's such a great singer. I love anytime he gets to do it, and his third verse on this track is awesome. Talking about Mr. Montgomery. And of course the last line about Nicky, you always get the lyrics wrong.
It's a requisite for good ska bands to have a lead who always forgets the lyrics.
There's good vocalizations, and there's some really good sounds on this track. It fits the spacey vibe that the previous song established.
And you want steel drum. This one's got steel drum right on the front.
It does! It has steel drum right at... It does that. I can't do an imitation of a steel drum. Humans weren't made to make the sound of a steel drum with their mouths.
No, they're not vocals.
I'm not made of steel.
I do love the lyric, people fear and run and cry, as incredibly clunky, but it somehow works.
There could be some of those like that, yeah. It's squeezed in between the first track, which is my number 1, and then the next track, Funkchunk. It's a good spot for it, I will say that, but it doesn't really compete with either of them, quality-wise.
I agree, but also I think it's perfectly placed within the album. They've spaced the album as if it were to be live in my mind, so it's like you come out full swinging with Escher, and then you have a little bit of a calm down where they just kind of introduce themselves and have some fun with the audience or whatever, and then they get back into the greater show at large.
Yeah, let me point out that this song is on the live album from 2020 called Live at the Triffid. Sans Humanite is on here, and it is, guess what, track 2. Track 2 on the live album. So you are absolutely correct about its placement. I think the placement is correct. However, I don't really like it that much.
That's a shame. I mean, I get it because again, at this point, like I don't think you're saying it's bad, but it's definitely
no.
It's not hitting the highs that other ones are. I don't think it's trying to. It's just a fun, like, down to earth kind of introductory bit.
I just want to get to track 3 like often, so I hate to say this, but this is a debatable skip for me. It's not a skip. Nothing on this album is a skip. I'll say that. However, this song comes the closest to me being like, all right, I heard Escher. That's great. Can I listen to Funkchunk now? But no, this is 4 minutes. I have to listen to 4 minutes of Sans Humanite real quick. This is the Eat Your Veggies song for me.
I want to note...
It's good for me!
Because I know you like this information. Like I said, I've got the Spotify, which is how I listen to the music usually.
Yeah, you have the plays up. I don't listen to Spotify, so go ahead.
Yes, Spotify tells me how often things have been played, which is why I think it's shocking. At the very least, they're being way under-listened to on Spotify.
Really?
Escher is the second most played song on the album at just under 60,000 plays.
Really?
I am probably 1,000 of them at least, so I think more people need to be listening to it.
The music video for Escher, I also forgot to mention, but the music video for Escher is really fun, and it has like 100, 150, I think, 1,000 views.
They shouldn't be doing this little in numbers. Like, they deserve far more.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we could say that about a lot of bands we talk about.
Sans Humanite is also lower, being about 45K.
But where's it in terms of the album? Is it high on the ranking of listens?
Within the album itself, it's on the higher end for sure.
Is it top 5?
I think it might be.
Is it top 5 for you? Because it doesn't make mine.
Oh, as far as plays, it's in the top 5. As far as my personal preference, it is not in the top 5.
No, okay. All right. What do you think about the song?
I think it's very good. I mean, I'm a sucker for group singing, which the band does plenty of, thankfully.
Jimmy! Jimmy, get in here!
Yeah, Jimmy, do the line I paid you to say.
He said it!
I gotta get back to playing
I paid you!
New leaf on my Nintendo 3DS.
Alright, we got him. Thanks, Jimmy. You gotta get back to Animal Crossing, I did.
You gotta get back to the thing I also paid him to say.
Alright.
I'm glad that we just have a Jimmy soundboard whenever we need it now.
We paid for it. I'm gonna use it. I use every part of the Buffalo, Austin.
The group singing also is just part of my enjoying a band that sounds like it's really having fun playing music. A lot of my love for the bands like Suburban Legends are just in the fact that you can just tell that they're really having fun doing what they do. Melbourne is a great example of a band like that. So I think Sans Humanite gets a lot of accolade for me, just for being a very fun, not too complicated, not too risky kind of a song. It behooves the texture of the album as a whole. I
brought this up in pretty much every episode, but album sequencing is very important to me.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
And I would not move this song. I think it's perfectly placed where it is. Just because my emotional feelings towards wanting to get to the next song are preventing me from liking it as much as I could, that doesn't mean... If I heard this live, I wouldn't complain. No way. It's perfect. Track 2, right off after the first song, perfect. Please, go, you boys, you go. You go, boys.
Eventually, I will complain about sequencing, but we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. All right, well, do you want to talk about the next track then?
I have a sneaking suspicion that you really like the next one, so I'm gonna let you introduce it.
We're gonna talk about Funkchunk.
You want to talk about a name that suits the sound of the song?
This song is considered like a single, a big single for the band. This was this the last music video they made? They made it in 2016, which was after they made the first ones in 2015, before the album even came out.
The Spotify plays will corroborate this because it is the only song on the album. Like, the second most was Escher at about 60,000. This one is 103,000.
Whoa, that's a large jump.
It's a huge jump. It's the only one that breaks that kind of number.
I mean, it's got great flow and a really fun horn line. This is actually one of my favorite choruses on the record.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, again, where they've got a theme and they've got a vibe they want to go for and they really just sell it. It's another one where, like, the vocal performance really delivers the sound they're going for.
It's a jam. It's a jam of a song.
And it also prominently features that reversed audio that they like to do in the undertow.
They do have that. And it's not a cover of a TV theme or Ligon Street Meltdown. So them having that many plays is great. Does it make your top 5?
It does. It does make my top 5.
It does make... let's say it at the same time, and then we'll see. I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, and then you tell me what number, right? So I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, number 5.
It's my number 5. I initially had something else there, but again, on the re-listen, it just bumped itself right into the top 5.
It jumped from 6 to 5?
It did.
Wow!
I decided that bass, like, this is a good example of the band not being comfortable with the sort of skill floor that they have and just deciding that, you know, they're competent enough to just do something funky on top of it, do something different and weird, where you've got this very specific delivery they're going for while also doing...
battlefield
yeah,
with ammunition cheap.
Very good lyrics
They're
again.
fighting with their instruments.
Very good lyrics, very fun vocal delivery, very weird choices that still work for the texture of the song with the reversed audio. Again, I like any song that decides to just having like a complete fever trip somewhere in the middle of it is a good thing to do.
I can't wait to get to the next song because it's not in my top 5, but it is funkier than this one. It's even funkier.
This is one of the lines I have in my notes here. I said the lyrics in some of the songs can be very abstract. Feels like something an eldritch being fucking with you would perform while taking you on a fever trip.
Oh, dude, you know what? We should get this in an animated movie. We should get an AMV of this over a drug trip.
That is exactly what I would love to utilize it for someday.
A lot of the guys have this, but I think Nicky especially is really good at making abstract visuals with his performance.
It's that cool vibe he's got. He's got that cool vibe.
Funkchunk makes our number 5, both of us.
It's a good one.
I think I only debated putting it in the top 5 for a little bit. I don't think anything quite snuck up close enough to like fight for it, but Funkchunk did make the top 5. Not like 4 or 3, but 5's still great. 5 is a great spot for this. And it's track 3, so it's still early. You got 2 of my top 5s already. You want to talk about you know, Bombay?
Oh, you're skipping ahead. You're almost gonna miss one.
I fucked up. What are you talking about?
You fucked up.
No, I didn't.
The 4th track on here is actually Sly Boots.
No, it's not.
It is on Spotify.
What? Hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Do we have the wrong track order here? I'm finding out live on the episode.
Is it so sly that you missed it? What's the deal?
It slipped past me. I don't know. Can somebody get those boots? They're slipping right past me.
We do have 12 songs total, right? We didn't...
No, we have 11.
We're not missing one somehow.
No, there's no 12th song on this.
I have an extra song then.
What do you have?
Who knows? We don't know yet.
What's the 12th song? Vespa Ska is the 11th song.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess Spotify's got an extra.
Do you have the thing on Saturn Return?
What I have here is No Show.
Yeah, that's on Saturn Return. That's not on this album.
Wow, they snuck it in on Sierra Kilo Alpha.
What the fuck? What? Okay, I'm getting fucked up by these streaming services. It's on YouTube too. What the fuck? They put Sly Boots at Sly Boots is track 6 on the album. Why is it up? It's in the 4th spot on this playlist. Made by the band. What? I'm so confused. What?
So who is wrong? Is it me? Is it you?
Who made this track list? Okay, look, we're not going to talk about No Show, but... Okay, I guess we can change the order. Do you want to talk about Sly Boots first?
Okay. We'll talk about Sly Boots then, I guess.
Even though it's track 6 in my... Okay. I did not foresee this problem. I'm sorry to everyone listening.
That's what happens. Unfortunately, we have no way of controlling that kind of thing.
There's no way. There's no way of... Oh, well, look.
It's funny.
It slipped ahead in the schedule. Sly Boots. This one got another music video.
It's here now. It walked in right where it wants to be. I could definitely see this one having a music video.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it, but
Oh, it's really fun. In those Sly Boots tonight.
It's a cute song. It's got a cute theme. It's not as abstract as Funkchunk or Escher, so it's definitely one that could just have like a pretty straightforward narrative.
Man sees woman in boots. He like boot. He follow boot girl. Boot girl become wife.
He hit with club. Bonk!
Wife fight back. Kill wife.
Wife fight back. Kill wife.
Depressed. I lost out on those Sly Boots. This is an instant classic for me. I mean,
is it?
It's got a great horn line. It's got a fun chorus. It's very danceable. This song shows the band being tight for like a good amount of time, like just on the groove.
I understand, but I think we have a preference difference here, because this is one of the ones that if I were to consider anything a skip, it's one of the ones I might do that to.
Sly Boots is, really?
It's got like that kind of ska super spy thing going on with a lot of its stuff.
Yeah, the spy thriller type.
It has a really nice chorus that I enjoy.
They do this again in a different song. And then what, you get tired of it?
Yeah, for me, I don't know. It doesn't have anything that really like super stands out for me. I think it's like a nice little snack. It's nothing that I would consider like all-star performance for me.
Not filling. It's not filling enough for you.
It's a nice little treat, you know.
Nice little treat. For me, it was almost a top 3 contender. I ended up putting this at my number 4. Because, yeah, it's one of those songs that I wanted to hear it again after hearing it. I did that quite a few times at work. I was just like, oh, man, I like Sly Boots. I want to hear it again.
That's good. The first 4 songs on this whole thing have definitely shown that the band understands a good hook and horn line, so it's like they got it.
This is not the 4th song. This is track 6.
It's on your dumb thing. I've got 2 corroborating sources.
My dumb thing? It's on the website in this order. It's on the Wikipedia in this order. It's on Discogs in this order.
Me, 2 sources. You, 1 source.
Me. It's on Amazon in this order. I don't know why Spotify has it fucked. What about hold on, Apple Music. Let me check Apple Music. Apple Music has Sly Boots and what's going on?
It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube.
No shows on here too. What is going on?
The way most people would
Am I
listen
getting
to
fucking
it.
revisionist history? Am I getting...
You want to guess what the canonical 5th track on this album is?
I'm assuming they just moved Sly Boots up.
It's Bombay Detective.
Yeah, that's track 4
Yeah.
on the actual album, the physical album they printed. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know why they... What's going on? Who changed the order? Who put... No Show is on Saturn. I'm sure of it. No Show.
History has been updated.
I'm patching history right now.
No Show is on their follow-up album. It's their 2nd song on Spotify.
It's on there. That's where it is. Why is it... Who put it at the bottom of this album? It's not supposed to be on here. Oh, all right. Look, I don't know, man. Anyway, so Sly Boots doesn't make your top 4.
No,
top
it doesn't.
5. It makes my number 4.
That's good for you. I think that's a perfectly good thing.
Can we talk about Bombay now? It snuck in there ahead of us.
We get 2 super spy ska songs in a row. Bombay Detective is very bouncy. It's very bassy.
Super funky horn and bass line, both of them. I gotta give it to Barry and the drummer. Both of them hold a great groove on this track. Super groovy. And we got a harmonica solo. A harmonica solo on this song. Was not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, I like it when they get funky. They just decide, this one's gonna have a thing in it, and then they go for it.
I believe this song is about a detective who doesn't understand the old wise people, just, living life. He's too skeptical and hard-boiled to get it. He's just like, there's something wrong with these people. Something's going on. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
How can they be so happy? What's up with these people?
The thing about the chorus, I like the preamble to it, and then the fall. And immediately follows the preamble into the chorus is very well done. I do like that a lot.
Does it make your top 5?
No. I really like the lyricism. I really like the storytelling, but it's another one that, while very good, and again, in no way a skip, none of these are, just doesn't have anything that jumps out at me.
It's on the higher end of the weaker songs. That's what I wrote. I could put this at 7, maybe, if I was being generous. I think this one really These songs in the middle of the album are kind of interchangeable depending on my mood. Sort of like you with the top songs. But I feel this way about the stuff in the middle, like Bombay.
If the higher end of the weaker songs is at 7, which is still very low, and at 12 tracks, like an 11-track album for you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Then it's definitely very good for the album.
That's super great. I can see this being someone else's number one, honestly. I think Bombay Detective is strong. There's no live performances of it, though, so I can't look at them playing it.
It's another one where it's like, if you like this kind of vibe, if you listen to the chorus and that's your thing, then it is definitely like, it could be your favorite.
I can only see Funkchunk going into this. I can't see Funkchunk Sly Boots this. That doesn't make sense to me. The sequencing is all fucked up in my brain now. What? Have I been listening to the album wrong? How they printed it?
You really are fixated on sequencing, huh?
This is weird to me. I don't know why. It's weird. Somebody works hard to put albums in a proper order, alright? I could be that person. And it feels weird when suddenly, I don't know who decides this. Streaming services, I guess? Decides, alright, we'll move a radio song with a single up in the album, even though it doesn't flow as well. And flow is important. So, yeah, I was much happier going from Funkchunk to this. And then Sly Boots coming later kind of, like, brings me up, because Bombay Detective, Nothing in the Well, Sly Boots makes more sense. But anyway, that's just me. Do you want to talk about actual next track?
Do you want to talk about Nothing in the Well?
I really like the hook on this song.
Yeah.
I dance when I hear it, but there's no Nicky. No Nicky on this one. It's not too bombastic or overstated. I think coming off of the minor from Bombay Detective into this is pretty good. And there's a little bit of steel drum, little bit right at the end when they're repeating Nothing in the Well.
I mean, this song, obviously, as far as the ensemble, feels smaller. Like you said, Nicky's not there.
It's Pat. This is a Pat show.
This is a dense little nugget.
Ooh, a dense little nugget. I like that.
It really focuses on that bass, the hook, and our extremely good vocalist here in Pat.
Pat's, oh my god. Never took the good advice.
It's straight to the point. This is a great protesting song. It's a great political jam.
Yeah, you like those?
I'm a big fan of them. This is really good.
Would you say it's better than The Interrupters?
I think so. I definitely enjoyed this sort of political jam versus neoliberal milquetoast nothing.
It helps that it's really good. The actual song, Nothing in the Well, like composition-wise, is phenomenal. Super good. It's tight. It almost snuck into my top 5. Almost. But it didn't beat Funkchunk for me.
This is one that when I am driving somewhere, I will sing to myself pretty frequently.
I can see that.
And it helps because Pat's timbre is closer to my own singing voice, where Nick is a little higher.
Yeah, you would probably hit Pat and maybe Steve's on Satellite, maybe.
Nothing in the Well is right in my wheelhouse. It's a lot of fun to do. The bass, the sax bass and drums, perfectly in sync on the song. It's got the exact sound it needs. It's got a fantastic vocal performance, really good momentum, really good sway on it. It's my number 3 on the entire album.
Oh, that's a strong 3.
This was one that got bumped up because of Escher.
Considerably.
This one was my number 2. Before I decided to take this one on the show, it was my default number 1. So it has gone up.
Whoa.
But like, this is one that I consider, like I said, the top 3 in this whole thing can completely move around. It's like, it's Schrodinger's 3 tracks, where it's like, depending on what day you ask me, they could move around.
You open the box and you close it and it jumbles around, and then you open it again, they're in different spots.
Yeah, so it's like nothing in the Well does a lot for me.
I totally get that. I could totally see younger 5 years ago, Austin, listening to this album in the car and singing this one and liking it a lot. I totally get it. I struggle. It didn't quite beat Funkchunk. I would put this at number 6. I think it belongs in the upper echelon of the other songs, but Funkchunk it gets there a little bit for me more than this one does.
I definitely really like it as, like I said, a political jam or a protesting thing. When I went out to my last demonstration, like, this is one I had in my head, because it kind of has that like weary, we're gonna keep doing this type of thing, aren't we, kind of air about it, but it also gives off the impression that, like, we know we're gonna win in the end, no matter how many times we have to do this, and we're not gonna sit around and take it. So
yeah, let's bring out the guillotines, bring out the dancing lobsters.
Bring in the dancing lobsters.
So I'm a big fan of it for sure. In my order, the next track that follows this immediately.
The only one that moved is Sly Boots. Everything else is the same, as far as I can tell.
Possibly Whiplash tonally, but very much like this next one as well, which is the number 7 track called Stay Low.
Daggers engaged. They're looking for someone with your DNA. Caused an earthquake, though your reasons were right.
Now we're at the correct placement, number-wise. However, this is supposed to come after Sly Boots. It makes so much more sense coming after Sly Boots.
I think I prefer it actually being a complete tonal shift from Nothing in the Well.
Really? Okay. I mean, that's what streaming services think, apparently, so maybe you're part of the algorithm, Austin.
What is your opinion of this song? Because I think it's another one that starts off with a really good hook.
It's very Boss Tones-like. I recognize a lot of the horns being the front and center, and the wind instruments being, like, huge on this track, and for some reason that makes me think of Boss Tones.
I understand why you say Boss Tones-esque. I honestly don't think 98% of Boss Tone music can get as good as Stay Low.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that.
I love the Boss Tones.
I'm just talking about the style, not necessarily the quality.
Even though Dickie Barrett has gone off the deep end lately.
we're not gonna talk about it. Let's not. Let's remember him as he was.
Remember him as he was.
That's rude for me. That's rude for me to say, but you know.
I think Stay Low. This is another one that I sing constantly in the car. This one has
There will be fire. There will be fire.
really good lyrics, really amazing vocal delivery.
You've heard me imitate the "I got it, you got it." That's from this song. I've been doing that lately.
It's very good. And especially coming off Nothing in the Well, like this is extremely light, it's extremely hoppy, it's very bright, it's very staccato, it's very quick. This is one of the most fun songs that I've heard from the band.
Well, I would disagree with your assessment then. I don't think this is as fun as stuff on the first album. Stay Low, anyway.
I think it is. Debatably, Paradiso off the first album is my favorite of their songs.
Overall, really?
Possibly. I do love singing that one as well. They have a lot of very singable things for me.
Escher's still my number one. Honestly, I might put the Get Smart cover above Escher just because of how like emblematic of the band it is. But it's not an original song, so it's not fair.
Stay Low has... It's hard not to say Stylo. This is a completely different band. Stay Low has a great example of instrument call and response. So it has great call and response with the ensemble. Like I said, the lyrics are great. They like to play with like adding a thing in a song, so it's like the harmonica and Bombay. They do reversed audio in Bombay and in some of the other songs as well. The gimmick in this track is the whistle during the chorus, which I really like. Group whistling as a thing now.
I don't think can I get an AI to generate somebody saying group whistling?
Group whistling.
It's very good.
I don't know if I could pay somebody to say that.
I feel like everything in this whole song is just an incredibly tight package. It's very good for what I want out of it. Yeah, I love the theme, I love the lyrics, I like the vocals, I love the gimmicks that they've got, I like how quick it is, I like the chorus a lot with the thing, I think it's got great texture, it's my number one on the entire album.
No way! Stop! That caught me the fuck off guard! Stay Low is your number one on the album?
It is.
You like this better than Nothing in the Well?
Stay Low, Escher, and Nothing in the Well is the most different that you probably get. It's the 3 flavors you get in the album.
Absurd! Yeah, this is like the Metropolitan ice cream.
And they all switch up.
Of the album.
You can see what I mean, like depending on how I feel in the morning. Like if I'm pissed off, I'm going to want to listen to Nothing in the Well. If I'm feeling real good, then I want to hear Stay Low. And then if I just want like a really good jam, like a really good vibe, then I'll just hit Escher. Like there's the dichotomy that I have here, the trichotomy.
Wow, man, I did not feel the way you did about this track.
I would recommend giving it another listen. I don't know.
I've listened to it enough times. It's not a skip. It's not a skip. I guess my saying I've listened to it enough times is kind of rude. I would say bottom 5 for
really?
the song. I don't think it doesn't do much for me. I don't find it all that memorable either. The bits I sing are pretty great, and I like where it is in the album, placing wise, after Sly Boots, because it's supposed to come after Sly Boots. But no, I don't really gravitate towards this one that much. Probably because I think it reminds me of the Boss Tones so much. It doesn't really sound as much as of an MSO song as the other ones I attribute to the band. But damn, number one. I think any of these songs, honestly, could be somebody's number one pick.
I think that is the true take, is that any of these can be.
Yeah, our takes are really negligible in explaining how good this band is overall. We do that with TSPO too, honestly. They're just an incredibly practiced, great band. And honestly, I can't blame you. I think I wouldn't fight for Stay Low, but I certainly wouldn't fight against it.
So I think, speaking of songs that have to be someone's number one, I think we got into the next song here.
Yeah, track 8, Solitary Island Sway.
There's a lot of very interesting things happening in this song.
Very interesting, very interesting. This is also on the live album, Live at the Triffid, and it has some nice guest vocals in Spanish. I looked up the lyrics.
They're the same as the English lyrics.
Guess what, Austin? On the Genius website, yeah, it says Spanish.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
I mean, I'm not a Spanish speaker, really. I took 4 years of a 3-year Spanish course, but I'm pretty certain that most of the Spanish lyrics are just the English lyrics.
They're just the English lyrics. I don't know why. I was just looking up the lyrics on Genius and I saw some question mark Spanish?
No Spanish?
Como dices, no habla español.
I'm 90% sure that's Sally Ford doing the Spanish singing, and she's been playing since the 70s. So I have a lot of respect for her. Great to have her in the group, and she's great on this song, but the song is great. It has a really nice, like, fade-out ending. They hold the horns, and I really like it. I really super like it. Doesn't make my top 5, but I'm really, like, I love hearing it live, too. Live, it's sick.
I think it is an incredibly competent duet. You know, like the first proper duet in the album with 2 really good vocalists.
I mean, it's mostly Pat, if I'm honest.
They both have good voices for it. I definitely... This is another one that's got a fairly straightforward theme narrative to it. I wrote down in my notes, this sounds like a song that would be like 3/4 into like an old Disney short. Have you ever seen that one Disney movie where Donald is receiving care packages from his friends in other countries?
Yeah.
They just go talk about some South American countries for a bit. Like, this sounds like a song that would be just in there.
I'd like to see this in an old Disney cartoon.
Because, like, in the old Disney, they're just like, we're just going to do a song where this random character from a live-action person in South America is going to dance around some cactuses now. It has nothing to do with anything.
It's Pat dancing around some cactuses.
So it's like, we can just have a duet. Solitary Island Sway in the middle of this for no reason.
Does it make your top 5?
I think it's extremely competent. I like it a lot. For me, it's on the lower end of the album, just because of preference. It's just preferential.
I like it better than Stay Low. I'm excited to talk about the next track, though.
Yeah, you really like this next one, huh?
I really like, track 9, Special Thing. know you've got that special thing. It has a very understated intro. It has like that little spy thriller horn line that we all talked about in Sly Boots, but it's...
Why is ska spy? Why is that such like a trope? Why is that a thing?
It's cool! It's cool. These guys are in suits. Spies are in suits with ties. They look cool.
Like even Save Ferris had Super Spy.
Black and white theme. Hello. Do you not see the connection, Austin? Do I have to explain this to you?
I want to know why. This is a reoccurring thing in many bands.
Spies are cool. Sky's cool.
You know what? You're right.
The black and white theme.
You know, that does explain it.
That explains everything. Anyway, this one grooves a lot. All the vocals are really sweet to listen to. And I pointed this out to you earlier. This song has a clarinet solo in it, and it's bonkers.
It does have a very good clarinet solo.
I think the clarinet solo is the best solo on the whole album. It's so fucking great. That it's really good. This one hits the nail on the head for me, thematically. Oh, with all that spring you bring, it makes me sing. This is my number 3. I really like Special Thing, dude.
Again, it's one that I don't have in my top 5. This kind of song, this kind of theme that they go for, I don't love as much from them. It's just a preference.
Really? Yeah, that explains why I like this and Sly Boots so much, and you don't.
This kind of song, for me, would shine a lot better were I to see the band live and there was a dance floor. Like, that's what I would think.
Okay, I can sort of see that.
I think that's where this would really shine. Like if they were out doing like some open air fair or something somewhere.
Yeah, like one of the only live performances they have on YouTube where they're out in the open. Oh, man. I kind of had a hard time bouncing between 2 and 3 for my top 5, but Special Thing ended up at my number 3. And I think it's just like, it's really good coming off of Solitary Island Sway into this. And then into the next song. I think the sequencing is perfect here. Absolutely ideal.
Each song really does allow different parts of the band to kind of come forward and enjoy their time.
Oh, dude, the percussion on this track is great. Oh, man, I really love the drum on this.
Good technical performances. It's got Pat on vocals again, and he really tries to sell it. It's got the really good clarinet solo. It's got the Super Spy Ska vibe with really cool lyrics again. This is another one that just sounds cool. It's got everything. It's just...
Where is this on Spotify?
It's number 9. It's right after Solitary Island Sway.
It's that low?
Oh, you mean on plays? It's actually...
Yeah.
Technically the lowest on the entire album, play-wise.
No way! Special Thing is the lowest?
Only 17,600 views.
It doesn't even have 20K! I'm upset at that! I'm so upset! This is one of my favorite songs in the album. This is another song that I wanted to hear again, like right after hearing it.
They are criminally under-listened to.
I'm getting on Spotify. I'm gonna fix this shit. I'm gonna call up Spotify and go like, hey, fix the order. But also, get some plays on Special Thing and do it now! And then I slam the receiver down.
I need you to find me those plays. I need you to find them for me.
You're hiding them from me!
That was a sick 2020 presidential joke.
Topical.
Remember when that happened?
Yeah, remember that? Remember the 2020 presidential?
Wow.
Recount! Let's get another excuse to get... It's almost October again, Austin. We're gonna have to watch...
We have to watch Scary Godmother again. We'll just call Spotify and demand recounts on the plays for the entire band.
Can you put the soundtrack of the Scary Godmother on Spotify? Thank you. Alright, so can we talk about the next track?
The next track after Special Thing is a little thing called Satellite.
Day, all my fears have gone away. I guess this means I'm here to stay. Yeah, I'm ready to fly, ready to fly.
Oh, the satellite. This is the first music video they released, and it has the most views. This has 200,000, and it's a solid pick for a first song. This and Special Thing have some of my favorite vocals from Pat and Steve. Satellite is all the highlights of what makes the band strong. The vocalists are all on top. It's got a fun chorus, some good lyrics about, like doing your own thing, not letting the, not being a sellout, not letting the record company or whatever decide what you want to do with your life and how you want to give your music to people. And this was also trading between my number 2 and my number 3. This ended up at my number 2.
I think Satellite is extremely good. Everything you said is spot on. The lyrics, the chorus, the vocal progression hits so many different places where you've got fun, atypical sort of delivery. And then the chorus has everyone's brought together for really even delivery over the song. So it's like everyone can sing this part together, obviously, while Nick goes off on his thing during his own verses.
It opens on Pat too, Rise on the Blessed Day. That's so good.
It's very fun. It's a huge wake-up call. Like, it's a big smack in the face after Special Thing, as far as...
Special Thing, it's really good.
It shocks you awake.
I'm upset this and Escher aren't on the live album. There's no live performance of this song or Escher on YouTube.
This is the point where I complain a little bit about the song order, because I think they should have ended with Satellite.
Yeah, I agree. I also think so. I think Vespa Ska is not as strong as an ender as Satellite is.
Yeah, I think this one would have definitely been a good one to end on for sure. It's very bouncy, it's very fun, it leaves you in a good mood. This here is the dance battle. This is the break dance ending, the dance party ending to any animated
the dance party ending, yeah. It totally is. It's the dance party ending of Shrek 2. That's all. Wait, that's Shrek 1.
You need everyone to feel good as you're leaving the theater. This song does that. It has good lyrics, good theme. And they're doing interesting things about it. Again, the drums are very important in this song specifically. And again, I appreciate when the band just decides to have a few bars of a mental trip in the middle of their thing.
It's in the mind, in the mind.
And I do enjoy funny NASA sampling as well.
Yes, also. 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's some good stuff in here. There's some very good stuff. There's good stuff for everybody on this song. I don't know why. Like, this is a jam. This is one of my this is actually one of my all-time favorite MSO songs.
You said this is your fourth favorite or your second favorite?
This is my number 2. Yeah, this is right after Escher. It didn't really jockey with number 1, but it definitely deserves number 2. I think Satellite's a great fucking song.
This one is my number 4 on the album.
Oh, okay. I'm very happy about that.
I really like Technically. I think Escher is better. Like this one and Escher have the most in common of my favorites.
Yeah, they certainly share similar DNA.
Escher is a little stranger, which makes me like it more. But I do really like it, but it doesn't compete with like my top 3 for sure. It wasn't one that I had in the jumble there, but it's very, very good.
Your preference came strong for those top 3, but you understand what makes Satellite so good.
Yeah, everything like as soon as you hit the chorus in Satellite, like you're in it. Like you already feel like you've been with the band for a while. Like you're.
This should be the last song on the album.
It should be.
This should be the last song. I don't know why. We'll talk about the next song, don't worry, but Satellite should end it.
It's worse for me as well because it doesn't just end with Vespa Ska, it also ends with no show.
It doesn't! In real life, it doesn't, alright? You're living in a fantasy world, alright? Spotify has created this alternate reality for you. They put you in a bubble, and they said, oh, the album ends on no show, actually. And you're right, get out! I gotta rip you out! Austin, wake up! It's actually 2022! We've been doing a 2021 bit this entire time!
Oh. Have I been in a coma for 13 months?
For 13 months! You've been inside the alternate universe Sierra Kilo, or Alpha Kilo Sierra.
It's a good thing that I'm only conscious and living during our show. I'm like the Winter Soldier. You just break me out of the fucking freezer to do the show.
Yeah, then we go back in the freezer. Yeah, no. So wake up. It's actually July 24th, 2022.
I'm the cold one. I'm the cold one that gets open.
Yeah. I'm the cold open. Me. I'm gonna have a fridge opening sound effect at the beginning of the episode now.
I still think that the fucking open up a cold one is still my favorite bit from the entire show.
That's
I still
your favorite?
really like.
Yeah, that's a cold open of a cold open.
So awful. Very funny though.
Oh, that's a you joke. That's an Austin joke right there.
We both need each other to volley back and forth. It's a team effort.
Anyway, Satellite good. Let's talk about Vespa Ska. That's why we do the Vespa Ska.
Vespa Ska is also good. It's basically an instrumental that has a few bars of vocals in it.
Yeah, like a couple chart bars of the oh, we don't like our motorbike. That's why we do the Vespa Ska.
This is one that, of the many songs on this album, this is one that I think would be very good to have like an animated music video to go along with.
Yeah, I think so. It has strong rhythms, and the brass section plays around in pairs. It has some of that call and response that you like. And it also does have some of the best drumming on the album. There's really good drumming on this song.
I can hear the song, and I do picture that, like, in my mind, I picture, like, that animated music video and, like, that 60s, 70s Vespa advertisement. Like, very nice, clean print, bright pastels with, like, a fucking background of some Italian village. Like, that's what I picture.
I had to remember what a Vespa looked like for a second. Okay, it's like the scooter from Fooly Cooly. Yeah, this.
I mean, I don't know if it's sad that that's your major point of reference for Vespa, but that's,
I don't see Vespas in my day-to-day life. I can't say I've seen one all that often or recently.
I mean, if we're speaking honestly, Vespas look very pretty, but they're, subpar as mopeds anyway. Like, if you just want a good moped, just buy a Honda. Like, that's why they sell so many of them. Anyway, the song is good. I do like the 60s and 70s vibes. I think it's, everyone gets to pop in for a solo.
The last song of the album, I'm happy to report, is good and it's not a skip. I will say that. That's really all I can say. There's not much else to say about it.
It probably should have been closer to the middle of the album. Like, this is like an intermission song.
Yeah, I don't know. Where would I put it, though? If I can't have it here. I mean, it does have the, like, at the end, where they all, wrap up. So it does have that. It has the ending. It's just not as strong of an ender as Satellite. So I don't know. I don't know where I would put it if I had my way. If I could make an alternate universe where this album was perfectly sequenced, like it already is.
It's difficult because we like the idea of having like the big bombastic end with Satellite, but they wanted to have, you know, a buffer song. Like this could have been the secret track, and it maybe would have felt a little better.
Oh, you mean like having like a delay after Satellite, and then like this would be unlisted?
Something like that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't really see them playing this live. Like, I don't really see this being like something we gotta put this on the live set. Like, it's not really that great.
I mean, it's a lot like Back to Basics from the original album in that way.
Yeah, you're right. All right, well, I think that's the whole album. We're not going to talk about No Show because it's not on this album.
Yeah, I have notes for it, but honestly, it's probably...
Tell me what you think about No Show real quick, even though it's not on the album.
The vocal performances is very good.
Would it be funny if No Show was in your top 5 and it's not on the album?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no universe in which that's happening.
Oh, thank God.
I think there's a lot of good things in No Show again, but it's definitely the most skippable of the things on here. It just isn't doing a lot of things very interesting to me.
You got your wish. It was skipped. It's not on the album.
Even though, like, everything it's doing is very proficient, and the vocalists get to have a lot of fun and back and forth with each other, this is just one that it's not doing anything very interesting for me.
Well, there you go. So, okay, let's recap top 5s. I will do mine first. Number 5 is Funkchunk.
We both had Funkchunk there, number 5.
Yeah, number 5 is Funkchunk, number 5. Number 4 for me was Sly Boots.
Yours was Sly Boots. I had Satellite at my number 4.
Yeah, I think it's very respectable. Number 3 for me was Special Thing.
I had Nothing in the Well at my number 3.
Very respectable. My number 2 was Satellite. I love that song.
My number 2 is Escher.
Yeah, my number 1 was Escher. That's a great fucking song.
And I had the dark horse of Stay Low at my number 1.
That really I can't believe, did not even make my... We had some good variety on this list. I mean, we only had 3 of our songs are the same on both lists. The other 2 are, and they're all in different places. And the other 2 are free spaces.
There were parts of my notes where Nothing in the Well was at number 1, and then it was at 2, and Stay Low was at 2, and at some point Escher was at 3. Like, they've all danced around each other, but at this moment, this was the thing.
Sly Boots didn't even make your top 5. Wow.
It's fine. I don't know. It's something about when they do...
It doesn't appeal to you as much as it does me, huh?
I'm a sucker for bitter love songs, especially, are my favorite type of song, apparently.
Right.
But I don't love...
What's the Slackers one?
My preference is not for...
What Went Wrong?
Yeah, What Went Wrong from the Slackers is a great example.
That's our number 1 for both of us.
As well as Future 86 from Bomb the Music Industry. Just like depressing, pessimistic, like, oh, I really fucked up everything.
Fuck that shit up.
So it's like, you know, those songs, Sayonara Hotel as well from TSPO. So it's like, I love bitter love songs especially.
I like songs that make me happy, and all these songs make me happy.
Melbourne Ska Orchestra does not do bitter love songs. they just do silly, light, kind of love-tinged songs.
Yeah, I mean, the closest I can think of is Learn to Love Again, but that's about, like, picking yourself back up. That's not depressing at all.
Yeah, it's like, it's a preference thing. I don't like that brand from them. I don't like the sound they have more than other things they do. So the lesser sound for them, for me, would be what's on display in Sly Boots, Solitary Island Sway, Special Thing. That kind of song for me is not doing really much for me. I do love when they get to get weird. Songs that have hints of conflict, where like Stay Low is about... It sounds like you're being hunted by an entire town, basically. It's literally like, just keep low for now, wait for the heat to die down. Escher is a complete mindfuck.
God, it's so weird. It's so great.
Nothing in the Well is great to listen to when you're marching for a cause. Satellite is mindfuck diet, like...
Mindfuck light.
Funkchunk just has like a complete vibe about it. Like it's all
so much fun.
Bass and drums doing its work. So it's like, that's what I like. I like that kind of raw power from the band in those songs.
Oh, Austin, we made it through the whole album without you mentioning syncopation a single time.
I mean, I guess they don't syncopate as much as other bands do. Syncopation I like a lot just because it breaks up what would otherwise be like a very monotonous bar of music where you could just have it be on 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not as fun.
Yeah, this album is not monotonous at all. This album has great variety. It has all good stuff I like. I don't know what I would give it as a final score, but I do recommend it to people. I think people should definitely check out this album.
I didn't mention it, but I will say the vocalist, especially Nick, understands how to break up that 4-bar structure into more what you would say syncopated, offbeat, like really good vibes. He does that
Definitely.
a lot.
High praise to all the vocalists in this band. Really, really fantastic job. I could not complain.
So I think that kind of puts MSO to bed. It's one of the bands I wanted to visit since we started the show.
Yep, very glad we got both your orchestra picks in the album. It took us 4 years, but we got it.
I'm curious as to where we'll be heading for the next one. Do you have something interesting for me?
I do have something interesting. I originally had another classic album lined up for the week after we did the first recording, which, it's been, in reality, it's been 13 months since we last recorded. This is the longest hiatus we've ever taken on the podcast, but we had a lot to do.
It's a good thing we have no concurrent fans listening.
We had a lot to do, all right? Don't make fun of me.
I'm making fun of us.
Don't make fun of us.
We're both very proud of our product, so it's fine.
I would not do this if I didn't want to do it. And we that's why we waited so long. And I feel like we got a good episode out of it. And the next one's going to be even better, in my opinion.
What you got? Give it to me.
This year has taught me a lot, Austin. I needed to challenge myself, move out of my box a little bit. I wanted to listen to some newer stuff. So I picked one of the bands that I've been listening to off the ska punk compilations that I've been listening to. One of which, who also put out a pretty successful album last year.
Okay.
I want to talk about Flying Raccoon Suit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is that indie ska punk band that I liked a lot. I heard Proud on one of the compilations, and I said, man, this band's gonna go in places. I listened to their other stuff, so...
I assume we're talking about Afterglow?
We're talking about Afterglow.
Did you fund the Kickstarter they had for it? Because I believe I did, and I think I got the 8-bit version of Afterglow.
Oh, you have the 8-bit stuff.
And I have a shirt. I have a shirt for Afterglow as well.
You got a shirt for it?
Yeah, I've got a shirt for Afterglow.
Nice.
I got the 8-bit album that they released for it. And I've got some decals lying around here as well.
Oh, shit, I think I may be misremembering. I think I did actually fund it.
I thought you did.
Because I remember being excited. And telling you about it. So I think I did, actually. Anyway, look, the band's worth supporting, and we're going to talk about it a lot. We're going to talk about... They released an album in 2021 called Afterglow. And I can't wait to talk about it. It came out a couple days after my birthday. I didn't get around to listening to it until a little bit later in 2021 because I was busy. But I want to talk about this album and this band, dude. Flying Raccoon Suit, they are going places, man. So yeah, this is a modern band I want to talk about. A super modern band. This band, was just starting when we started the podcast. Now they've released, 3 albums.
Oh, man, you want to talk about... Oh, boy. I hope they are going places, because you want to talk about disappointing playlist numbers on Spotify. Oh, man.
I don't want to talk about that, but I want to talk about the quality of the album and what they're putting out.
Again, don't accept plays on Spotify as any indication of quality, because I just railed about how MSO deserved more.
They've only disappointed me. Spotify has only disappointed me. They're wrong. They're stupid. Fuck Spotify. Hot take. Fuck Spotify.
Oh god, there goes our sponsorship. Oh, no.
Austin, we're going to be talking to you next time on the podcast, on the Rude Boys podcast.
Alright, I guess we'll glow sometime after.